Various reports we require daily basis that can be managed if we are having a softwares or ICT tools centralizedly. It comes with the transparency also, which in between each stakeholders like individual teachers, parents, students, and the alumni, those who are number of students who pass out from your institutions. If they want to contribute anything to the institutions, that is also one of the major part. Legacy data management and data security is more important nowadays. So moreover, retrieval of the such data when required is also a challenge, whereas we are going to facing the accreditation bodies like NAAC or NB or NRF or any. So the ICT reduces cost of the operations as well. Nowadays we see in lots of institutions, new recruitment are in not place, which the manpower is required to run the institutions. Lots of staffs are going to retire and new recruitment is not in place. So IQSC team, IQSC coordinator, what are the data they required on time? That is not in place. So reducing cost of the operation, people, if the data is centralizedly on single click, everything will be available. So paper cost, hardware maintenance, manpower expenditures can be minimum via when we are using the ERP or ICT tools. It's also improving the productivity whenever we require the data. So that data is, if it is in automation format, so you can retrieve that data on a single click. You can achieve that data on a single click. So the ICT is need of the hour. So we Mastersoft is a partner of Microsoft in India. So with educational institution, we accelerate digital innovation securely and efficiently. We are serving to university, colleges, schools, and trust a group of institutions, whereas a societies, whereas having that number of schools, colleges, and they want centralizedly everything on a single click. So management can access all the reports related to the schools and colleges. I'll play a small video about our headquarters, which is located at Nagpur, Maharashtra.
Our new office is simply awesome. I mean, just look at the design, the infrastructure, the decor. Everything is so awesome here.
Mastersoft is built on the ideology of hard work, innovation, and collaboration. We started Master Software in year 2000 with the aim of automation of higher educational institutions. Today, we are 300 plus team members, 2200 institutions across the country, and also helping the students and teachers in learning management solutions and in their accreditation in building their future.
24/7, all of us at Mastersoft are working for you for an enhanced student experience, for reduced workload, and for data-based decision making.
So this is all about our headquarters located at Mihan, Nagpur. So Mastersoft is a market leader and most preferred solution partner for the e-governance ERP. And from past 2 decades, we are into education domain with 300 plus strong team members and 10 plus million learner is also onboarded, and clientele we having across 200 plus cities in India. Overseas also we having a clients. So we believe on the service and support, and our solution is be ready with the futures like new education policy or accreditation point of view. Why we are success in this domain, the man behind that, Mr. Shyam Sumani, who is a founder and managing director of the Mastersoft. So, sir, work with the Nagpur University as head of the computer center somewhere around 12 years. So, company started by the teachers and running by the teachers. So they know exact the requirement of the accreditation, exact requirement of the new education policy, or what exactly requirement of the institution, educational institution. So somewhere around in 1995, sir started Mastersoft with aim to impact the education with ease of processes and automation. So apart from that, we are having a academic advisor or management or the mentor from the academic background, like Dr. R. Natarajan, who chaired the AICT, then former director of IIT Madras, Dr. N. Jaishankaran, who is also advisor of large multidisciplinary, multi-campus universities like VIT, SRM, who helped various institutions for the accreditation. Dr. N.J. Rao, sir, Dr. S.S. Gokhale, well-known faces of the education domain, those who spare their entire life and devoted their life for the education. So system is backed by thousands of academicians, and it's not developed, it's crafted by the academicians. Our headquarter, our footprint, you can see the headquarter is in Nagpur and clientele across 200 cities in India. Apart from that, we having a presence right from Srinagar to down south Madurai. Okay. The 4 A's of any educational institutions is admission, attendance, assessment, and accreditation. So our solution is 100% aligned with these 4 A's. Okay. So where we'll see the student life cycle, faculty life cycle, and campus administration, other modules, right from student online registration, student alumni, their examination, student feedback, which is very important part of the any types of accreditation related, and the faculty life cycle right from their joining to their retirement, their service records, their PF and income tax, increment details, their nomination details, then institution administration modules like ADMS, which is accreditation data management system, and outcome based education, then finance and account library management system, which is also part of the accreditation, whereas 60 marks is covered in the library automation system. So accreditations data management system, yes, we are having a ADMS modules, which Paras sir will cover this. I'll only give you an overview, whereas you can manage your 5-year data, the 5-year data which is required for the accreditation bodies, and IQSC team will having, IQSC head will having a admin login, whereas all the faculty will having their login. They can enter their data from there, and IQSC teams can download the data according to the required format. Also analyze the criteria wise where we are lagged. So graphical format will be there, 100% data available, and what are the data we required that can be generated in the required format as well. So these are the 7 key criteria of evaluation, whereas the revamping of curriculum, the teaching, learning and evaluation, research and innovation, what are the infrastructure and learning resources available, support and progression, governance, leadership and management, institutional values, and the best practices adopted by the institution. These are the 7 key criteria, whereas the ADMS will outcome or help for the data fill-up status, dashboards, year-on-year comparison, self-assessment, and various types. Yeah. Various types of dashboards will be available, like student strength in the cycle of particular, what are the assessment period, student strength, gender wise. This part will covered by Paras sir. I'll only overview what we are going to cover. Staff type wise, how many staff we are having, their designation, appointment type, sanction strength. So lots of graphs is available for the internal evaluation or mock drill perspective. So research, innovation, where we are lacking. So in research or journal, so that part will covered. So how many alumni is donated, how many alumni is we having, how many alumni is placed, how many alumni is donated or alumni contribution, how many alumni association meeting we conducted, that graphical formats are available. Data daily basis uses of that particular modules from date to date, that can be also seen here. So qualitative and quantitative both matrices we can manage here. So in that qualitative matrices metrics, like maximum words we need to define, so that detail will be available here. I'll play a small customer feedback video. Recently, one of the colleges, college in KBC, in NMU region, in Pachora, they faced NAAC and they got A grade. Well, I saw this college, it's in a rural area, but they got A grade. So I'll play a small video of that, their experience.
आमचं नॅक झालं आणि नॅक कमिटीने लिपमॅन सॉफ्टवेअर प्रचंड त्यांना आवडलं. म्हणजे नॅकच्या दृष्टीने जे काही रिपोर्ट्स लागतात ते सर्व प्रकारचे रिपोर्ट्स यामध्ये आहे. आणि एक उल्लेखनीय बाब या सॉफ्टवेअरची अशी की नॅक कमिटी जेव्हा व्हिजिट करायला आली आणि व्हिजिट करताना त्यांनी रीडिंग हॉलमध्ये प्रवेश केला आणि मला प्रश्न केला की रीडिंग हॉलमध्ये बसणाऱ्या विद्यार्थ्यांचं ऑटोमेशनच्या बाबतीत काय, यांच्या नोंद कशा होतात. तर यात एक उल्लेखनीय गोष्ट अशी आहे की विद्यार्थ्यांचं अटेंडन्स हे QR कोडद्वारे करण्याची सुविधा या सॉफ्टवेअरमध्ये आहे. त्यांना दाखवलं, त्यांनी खूप ॲप्रिशिएट केलं आणि माझ्या समोर कमिटी मेंबरने विद्यापीठात फोन केला आणि सांगितलं की आपल्या विद्यापीठामध्ये ही सुविधा आपल्याला विद्यार्थ्यांना द्यायची. अजून काय पाहिजे, उत्तम असं सॉफ्टवेअर आहे. थँक्यू.
So recently, that Kisan College Paroda, they faced NAAC, and last week they got A grade. So as I said, we are serving lots of institutions. One of the institutions is Rajgiri at Kerala. They are having a A++ grade and 3.84 CGPA out of 4. So one of the best college in the entire country, which is having a 3.883 on 4-point scale, which is A++ grade, which is also our client. So proudly we said this is also our client. So if any institutions want guidance from the colleges like this, those who are a good CGPA or A++ grade, so we can conduct the call with them also. Then outcome-based education, this part also Paras sir will cover, and this is also one of the key criteria, outcome-based education in the accreditation. Whereas the internal assessment, external assessment, COPO mapping, PO attainments, that part will covered by the Paras sir. Departmental vision, mission, aligned with the vision, mission or not, POs mapped or not, their accreditations needs, stakeholders, that part will covered by the Paras sir. Then library automation is one of the key point in any educational institutions, which is I supposed, or I think this is the only part which is directly benefited for the students. So library need to be automated 100% through QR code, through RFID or through barcode, and student will be having a mobile application, whereas they can see the search the books, number of books, or nowadays there are there are lots of ebooks are available for the free of cost for users, so they can search through this library automation mobile application. I'll show a small RFID video, whereas how you can automate your entire library using this RFID. This we implemented at NEP2020 campus. It's somewhere around 200-acre campus, and entire campus is RFID radio frequency. Earlier there was a barcode system. Nowadays there is a RFID tagging system, whereas that RFID tag is not valid, and for hiding that tag there is a sticker paper on it, and every tag is contained EPC code, electronic product code, that particular tag and details. Okay. Once the tagging process is complete, then self-circulation is available for the student. So student can issue the book using that RFID reader. So manual interface will be less. So once they issued, they will get notified through SMS. They will collect the receipt from the student. They need to show only RFID card and which books they required. So that book will be issued on their name. This new technology. 24/7 access library. There is a chances for the we install book drop station. Those patron who successfully issue the book can be passed out through the gate, and green light will be go in the entry and exit. If someone is trying to take away unissued books from the library, so there will be the sirens and alarm. You can see there are two students. One is issued properly and one is trying to take unissued books. Now you can see the gates, library security gate. So security alarms with red light and siren blow with the portal, and that passage will get to the library and access. Someone is trying to access unauthorized. So Dr. S.S. Gokhale, who was the director of LMNIT, demonstrating everything. If someone is trying to take unissued books to the RFID gate, that demonstration is showing by the team. And also there are multiple devices, but due to time, I'm skipping that. So yes, our solution is 100% aligned with the needs of the tomorrow, like new education policy and the accreditation, and data privacy security. That is also more important. Apart from ERP, we run the few programs for students and the faculties. Like for student, we having a learn with Mastersoft program, whereas we taking session on AI, ML, and data analytics, various new technologies, or what exactly the requirement of the market for their placement and internship. We also signed with institutions scholarship with Mastersoft. That program also we run. We having a NEETi National Education Empowerment Teachers Initiatives, which is for the teachers. Teachers can publish their paper, submit their papers. The best papers will be awarded, and we will be taken workshop with the institutions regarding for NEETi. National Education Empowerment Teachers Initiatives. More information is available on our website. You can visit our website, www.iitms.co.in, whereas every information is available. So I'll show a small customer feedback. Continuously using our great accreditation. So one of the institutions in Mumbai, which is A-graded institution.
Mr. Sham Somani sir, Gurudev, other team of Microsoft, then in charge Vice Chancellor of Homi Bhabha University, and a friend, Dr. Swati Vaval, Ansi Jose Madam, who's always our mentor for all these years, and all my dear friends, principals of various colleges, IQAC in charges, and the whole team of Microsoft. First of all, it gives me a great pleasure to see all of you here in offline mode, as we call it, that after 2 years, I think all of us are meeting, and it's really a nice feeling to see everyone and interact with everyone. All of us at RUIA, we have completed 4 cycles of accreditation with very good scores. We have been with Mastersoft since 2011. I think we are one of their first clients, and I remember how initially we were only with exam module, and slowly we took up all other modules of theirs, and we have got a very enriching experience with the team, and the team is always enthusiastic, always giving us support whenever needed. We have called them n number of times during admissions and results at any time of the day, and they are always there to sort your problems. So I thank the whole Mastersoft team for the support that they have given us all through. Thank you very much.
So that's and from my side, and thank you very much all for listening. Now I hand it over to Paras sir. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I would like to request Paras sir to please continue with your session, enlighten us on the accreditations data management system, and then new education policy. What exactly the changes has been made in the policy, So, Paras sir, hand it over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll start sharing my screen and I'll showcase you the accreditation data management and the processes which we will be using in streamlining the accreditation data management systems. So rather, instead of going only with accreditation data management, I'll be speaking something about the quality which we can maintain in the accreditation data management and rather in the overall accreditation process also. So when we say that what is quality, so quality, since it is the very soul of any higher education institution, it can be characterized as the basic points which I have showcased you. And as you can understand, quality is mostly noticed by the absence of it. Even to add in this, I'll just quote a sentence which our UGC director, Honorable UGC director, has quoted on April 3rd in the Times of India newspaper also. He quotes that India needs a stronger NAC, stronger error-free NAC. But if you people who are working in the NAC domain, you are working for the data compilation of NAC, then NIRF, then NBA, then the UGC norms, the AICT norms, AISHE, etc., you will be very well aware about the challenges which you are facing right now when you think about the only, even if you are thinking about only one accreditation, that is NAC, you always are aware that you need a comprehensive method, a comprehensive way wherein one type of data entry would be utilized for every sort of accreditation or every sort of agency which is requiring you to submit some sort of data. And herein the word quality in the higher education comes in. So say, for example, if you are imparting quality education to the students, whenever you say this, the accreditation agencies, even if they visit institute of national eminence like NITs, etc., you might be surprised that at least in case of NAC, I am aware that the accreditation grades which the institution of eminences like NITs have got, it is definitely questionable. Rather, they are having very lesser grades than the affiliated institutions in the Indian context also. So are we saying that they are not imparting quality education to the students? No, they are imparting quality education, but what they are doing is they are not able to reproduce it in front of the systems or say in front of the accreditation agencies. Rather, the affiliated institutions or autonomous institutions also, they have n number of data points which are there in their institution. They have n number of activities which are done in their institutions. The only thing is what should be present in front of the accreditation agencies and how to present it with honesty, integrity, or simplicity is something which we lack over here. Rather, there is also one more thing which is very important, that there is no scale or instrument which is available to measure the quality of educational institution. There is nothing like this. Hence, we need the appropriately strategized benchmarks and parameters which can assure you the quality and the assurance of quality in your institution. So these are the basic two mantras which the institutions can adhere to, because since I am also from the academic background, I know that the institutions, whenever they want to achieve higher accreditations, it is generally thought of by the higher management like directors, principal, etc., and the stakeholders like faculties or the various staff who are involved in it, they are just habitual of doing the mediocre things. So whenever you want to achieve higher quality in accreditation or any sort of daily lifestyle of your institution, you have to follow these two mantras at least. One, be allergic to mediocrity. Satisfaction with the various norms and practices which you are doing right now would be the biggest hindrance, biggest problem in your institution whenever you go for getting higher grades. Any institution who is having higher grade might be doing the same thing which your institution is doing. Rather, in this ICT era, everything is available on the public platform to everybody. But still some students, some colleges are getting lower grades than the others because they are rather satisfied with the status quo. That is the condition in which they are right now. So if you want to go for improving your grades, improving your quality, improving the overall satisfaction level when you impart quality education to the students, as the Juran quality guru says, quality does not cost you anything. It is just the attitude of mind. So once you have the attitude, you can go for using these tools or n number of tools to increase the quality of education and the quality of teaching learning in your institution. Even for that matter, when you go for the NAAC cycles also, the accreditation cycles, there are basically 4 cycles which can be qualified with respect to the quality parameters as quality assurance, wherein you showcase your compliance or accountability criteria, whether you are adhering to the basic steps at least which are expected out of you as an institution, whether you are doing that is something which is asked in the institutional first cycle. In the second cycle, when you go for the second cycle of NAAC per se, you will be asked about the quality sustenance. Are you able to maintain that same level of quality for years together? That is something which is a question which the committee would be asking, rather the institution should ask themselves as to whether they are able to maintain that level of quality. Next thing which is there would be the enhancement. Yes, you have quality practices, but as I said earlier, if you are satisfied with the status quo, jaise chal raha hai chalne de, kind of a thing, then you are not progressing in the quality domain. To do that, you have to have the quality enhancements steps, which are very deliberate to be taken from the college side, right from the upper management to the every stakeholder who is working for the quality cycle. They have to go for the quality enhancement. And the fourth cycle, as the name suggests, is enrichment, comprising of total quality management initiatives, right from every stakeholder in your institution, students, non-teaching staff, teaching staff, technical staff, everybody, when they are working for the one cause of quality improvement, they will be going towards the quality enrichment of your institution. I know the milestone is too much high to achieve, but if you start now, if you start early, if you start positively, you will be able to do it. This is something which is almost familiar to everybody with respect to the NAAC agency. What is the grade and what is the CGPA which is required? Also, with respect to the data, I'm not aware about the source of it, but if you see in the NAAC grade analysis, there are n number of institutions in the country who are lying between this module of B plus and B. It is not just, I said, the way I said it, it is not because they are not having the quality practices or they are not having the n number of resources which are there in A plus or A double plus institutions. They are following everything. The only thing which lacks in their institutions is the representation of the data in the stipulated formats or in the way the committees would be approving it. So what are the key challenges in front of the institutions? Will give a short thought on these things and then concentrate on the solution part on the bigger picture. The first thing which all the stakeholders, IQAC coordinators, principals, or the quality type, the criteria in charges would be facing is the formats for various accreditation and ranking agencies. Generally, you do have the data. Say, for example, the number of admissions in your institution for a particular year or a particular cycle of 5 years. The same data is asked in numerous types of formats, numerous types of Excel sheets, numerous types of data pointers in n number of accreditations and agencies. Some of them will be asking you what is the criteria, what is the caste category wise admissions in your institution. Some of them would be asking, say, for example, since I am from the academic, I can very well tell that UGC or DT, they are already asking you for the admissions criteria with respect to the boys and girls who are there in your institution. Some of them will be asking only for the total number of students who are enrolled in your institution. Then comes, with respect to the student data only, then comes the confusion, or rather conception of various accreditation agencies, wherein they ask you what is the pass percentage. In that also, they will be asking something about how many students have passed without backlogs, how many students have passed with backlogs, how many of them were able to complete the course within the stipulated time, how many of them completed it with some year backs. So nonetheless, the data is same, but you have to reproduce it in front of n number of accreditations and agencies in different formats. And then comes the bigger picture problem, wherein we have to collect the data from various stakeholders. In my faculty life cycle also, I have faced this, wherein we used to receive a letter, ye data aaj dena hai urgently, is something which was a troublesome thing to all the stakeholders, all the head of departments, all the principals, all the criteria heads or portfolio in charges rather. They were only running after these things. Today we need the data of training placement. So what you will do, you will run after the training placement coordinator, the training placement officer or coordinator will run after all the departmental heads, and in turn the data collection takes 1 day of time, and you're deprived from what you are designed to do or what you are expected to do, that is effective teaching learning. And then comes the data management. I have heard this sentence n number of times. कितनी बार यही चीज देनी पड़ेगी, कितनी बार ये डेटा हम कहाँ रखेंगे in the institutional domain. So you do have the data, but you have to manage it. Instead of managing it, you go on repeating that sort of data. Result data summer 2020, result data UGC summer 2020, result data updated summer 2020. These kind of data are something which we as faculties are very much habitual of, and we know that the data is not uniform. Once the data changes, say for example, for the matter of results also, once you have the revaluation data with you, the pass percentage changes, but it changes only in one domain. It has to be kept same for the first time passing students. So these are something which is in the end burdening the faculties. The faculties nowadays, they are very much overburdened with the data collection and management process, because rather it is said in humor that faculties को teaching छोड़ के बाकी चीजों में ही ज्यादा time waste करना पड़ता है, invest करना पड़ता है. We as faculties are very much habitual. We are very much interested in teaching to the students. Rather, we are doing the rest of the things on the higher side than teaching the students. Even when I was the principal of my college, I have set up a target of engaging at least 6 hours per week for my students. But these data collection things, they were eating up my time for the teaching, and बेचारे मेरे students उसमें suffer होते थे. Because there is one more thing, which is standard operating procedure, which are not in place in so many accreditations or even institutions also. Institutions themselves can also have the standard operating procedures at all levels. And this is the first solution I would propose while we are in this webinar. Generating the standard operating procedure is not just the task of the accreditation agency like NAAC. They do have SOPs. But are we reading those SOPs? Are we following those procedures at our institution level is something which you can do. Even use of IC2 tools, it is something which is to be, rather I'm amazed that using the ICT tools or softwares rather has to be made mandatory from the top management. Then only the faculties tend to use it, is something which is very questionable, at least in this era. Yes, we are using everything online. We do have n number of apps. We do have logins at n number of platforms. But when it comes to teaching criteria, or when it comes to teaching and learning process per se, we still rely on one thing. We'll do it via Excel because we have been doing it. That is something which creates issues like this, which we have discussed. If you have activities which are going on in your institution, n number of activities you conduct, if you can record it somehow, you just have to add few points. you do prepare a report. As a faculty, I know that we used to prepare a report of the every event which we used to conduct in our college. Cricket match हो गया, उसका भी report बनाते थे. How many players were there, which branch got the winning prize, etc. If you just upload that scanned copy on an ERP portal, that will be there. That will be there for 5 years, n number of years, and you can use it when you want to put it in front of accreditation. That is something which is very much easier to do, because in the accreditation modules or accreditation criterias, you also need proofs for every process. And if you maintain it at certain point of time, it will be very easier for you people only to fetch it whenever needed. Also, one thing, although I know that it is not the context in which I'll be speaking today, but outcome-based education and faculty is running away from it because they want to do some sort of calculations, is also which can be solved very easily if you go with the ICT tools or the online tools which are available. Even the basic things like website, they also need updations from time to time in line with the ERP data, so that you can configure it and you can produce the data in front of the accreditation agencies. Now I'll go to how you can solve these problems in depth. So this is something which is generally there in the institution. When you want to go for any accreditation agencies like NAAC, NBA, NIRF, AMBA, PASCO, everywhere, you do have these things in place like IQAC cell or portfolio in charges. But are we articulating the SOP as to how the IQAC will function? Yes, you can do that. Yes, we do have the academic calendar, but are we habitual of having an activity, event, or process calendar for an institution? If you do it, your life would be easier. And to do it, we do have a number of tools which can give you the correct data, correct inputs regarding these things. Next, I'll be focusing on a number of aspects which you can cover in the accreditation. The first thing, I'm not pointing out any sort of quantifying any sort of numbers. I'll be just moving on with the aspects or the criterias which are generally there in accreditation. So what is expected out of you when you go for the curricular aspect? The expectations are you have the curriculum delivery through a well-planned and documented process. Do you have the academic calendar ki sirf wo दीवार पे टंगाने के लिए ही रखा हुआ है? Choice based credit system, elective based systems. Yes sir, we do have electives, but हम उसको curriculum structure में रखते हैं. We do not offer it. Are we doing this? Add-on certificate programs. Expectation is that आप n number of modules, n number of technologies के लिए students को add-on programs, certificate programs, value-added courses मुहैया कराए, whether you are doing it or not. So these are some of the basic expectations in the curricular aspects, and how you can go with the solutions in this. MOUs which are there in the industry, they are generally just for the namesake, for signing purposes. आपके पास MOU है, कितने MOU है? Yes sir, 5 MOUs है. But now the accreditation agency like NAAC is also considering only those MOUs wherein you have at least some programs, some proofs through those MOUs which you have done. If you have conducted a program in line with the MOU with an industry, say for example, the institute today is considering and is organizing a webinar because of the MOU with Mastersoft. Only that MOU will be considered as an active MOU. So signing an MOU will not meet your needs. You just have to have an active MOU by these kind of things. Technical internship or any sort of internship which is specifically of 4 weeks to 6 weeks would be a very good thing to do in this aspect. When you think of the teaching learning criteria, what is the enrollment, how many seats are filled, what is the full-time teachers against sanctioned posts, full-time teachers with PhD, etc. This is something which is expected out of you when you think of the accreditation, and how you can do it, how you can progress with this data, what is the solution which you can have, is something, whether you are using the latest pedagogical teaching technologies in your institution, नए नए टेक्नोलॉजीज को आप एटलीस्ट अपने स्टूडेंट्स तक के सुनने के लिए तो भी पहुंचने देते हैं क्या, is something which you can have. Lesson plan, although we have it on the faculty level, whether we are following the lesson plan on departmental and institution level can be something which you can have. Faculty advisor, mentor, yes, we do have an criteria जिसमें हम पूछते हैं whether what is the mentor mentee ratio in your institution, but if you have the actual implementation of it done on your institution level, you can very well maintain the proofs also. Rather, portfolio in charges meetings, minutes of meetings, really documented, signed, stamped, is something which is very much required. This is also something which is very rarely practiced in institution, that is peer teaching. एक हमारे इंस्टीट्यूशन में हम हमेशा करते थे, अलुमनाई इंटरेक्शन दिखाने के लिए हम अलुमनाइज जो हमारे पास आउट्स थे उनको हमारे कॉलेज में बुलाते थे जो कहीं पे कंपनी में काम कर रहे हैं, एंड दे यूज्ड टू डिलीवर अ लेक्चर टू आवर स्टूडेंट्स. But peer teaching is something which is also practiced in so many institutions right now, although it is rare with respect to the affiliated part. But in a number of national eminence institutions, they do have the concept of peer teaching also, wherein seniors from the same college, same domain, they teach few topics in the understandable language to their fellow juniors. I know you might be saying that whether they are competent enough to do this, but since they have cleared one step of their career, they have passed on in that particular class and they are into higher classes now, they can still do it. Try it once at least to do the effective teaching learning process. When you go for the research consultancy, which is definitely expected from the faculty sides, what is the expectation? How many grants you have received, percentage of departments having research project, number of awards, recognitions. This is something also which needs n number of promotion activities or incentive policies which are to be generated from the institution side. There are n number of things which you generally do, but even if you document them properly, like workshops, training, FDPs, STTPs, webinar, online webinars, offline seminars, the podcast, if you do it, you have to have the documentation of it clearly. I'll be just rushing through these criteria because this is something which the NAAC people are or the IQAC people are definitely aware about this. The expectations which are there in the criteria is like classroom with ICT enabled facilities, whether they are there. The outcomes or solutions can be virtual tour of the campus. This is very popular in nowadays. The institutional website definitely has a virtual tour video which can facilitate the criteria wise in charges, the canteen facilities, sports facilities, etc. Student support and progression, these are also some of the criteria which are expected out of you, wherein right from student benefited from scholarship and free ships, student progression to higher education, placement of the students, whether they are going for entrepreneurship, the alumni contribution, whether your registered alumni association is registered or not, that is something very much which is asked. And in this criteria, what you can do is you can go for the rubrics for uniform assessment and evaluation, because whenever you are assessing the students in the accreditation agencies, they also ask you whether you have an rubric type of assessment or evaluation criteria in place in your institution, which will suffice the needs for every student. The student assessment and evaluation would be impartial. Whether you are having the counseling sessions arranged for them specifically for higher education. Do you have various clubs? The clubs in the institution, when I talk about this, people think that these are only recreational clubs with respect to sports or some extracurricular activities like this. But there you can, what we used to do in our institution also, we used to have clubs from the student interest. Say, for example, at the time of admission, you can take the data from the students as to what are they planning to do after they pass out from this course. And then with respect to the similar interest, you can have various clubs formed in an institution. So say, for example, your group of students are planning to go for civil services exams after they pass out from the institution. Then you can have a club for civil services preparation, wherein the counseling will be done from the institution side, from the third party agencies, or within the groups also, or say clubs, they can have their representatives and they can work on these criteria. That is something which is definitely there. Governance, leadership, and management. This is something which is considered to be the work of higher level management, but all the IQACs would be definitely aware about this, that IQAC is nothing but the governing body in this case, who will be looking after these criteria. Whether you are having the IQAC cell contributed in your institution, whether the IQAC is having regular meetings, whether you are having face-to-face faculty development programs or not, this is something which is expected. And you can have n number of criteria like this, which you are seeing over here. Rather, I would like to add in over here, when you go for performance appraisal system, in most of the institution, this performance appraisal system is just for the namesake, because it is asked in accreditations or the various level of agencies, but rather it is used for demeaning, demotivating the faculties. Instead, it should be used as a motivating factor for the faculties. We as faculties, we are, yes, to an some extent, but we are not highly motivated by the money, or we are not monetarily appraised every time. The appraisal which we get from the peers, from the superiors in our institution, from the upper level management, in the form of a certificate, maybe, that also adds value and a sense of satisfaction when we work in an institution. So that is something which you can definitely do the way it is practiced in so many institutions. You just get a certificate of good work, what you have done in the last year or last semester. That is also very much sufficient for us faculties, so that we feel proud while working in this institution. And the last one would be institution and institutional values and best practices, wherein you are expected about what are the best practices which you have in your institution, which are very much unique to your institution. You can have the data of n number of things here, wherein you can go for the e-waste management, research forums, alternative energy solution, rainwater harvesting, green practices like shared bicycles, public transport, etc. And you can go for the fulfillment of accreditation criteria. Now I'll be moving towards the second part of my presentation, wherein I'll be trying to showcase you the National Education Policy 2020 and the demystification of it with respect to the major reforms which are there, particularly with higher education sector. Rather, before going to this, why we need this National Education Policy 2020, or how it will change our lives as faculties, is something which you can understand through these examples. In a typical institution, whenever you design a course, मैंने भी बहुत सारे curriculum design workshop attend किए हुए हैं. Whenever we design these courses or curriculum for a particular semester or a particular subject, the first target which we have in mind is, हमको syllabus पूरा का जितना जितना हम syllabus सोच रहे हैं, it has to be adjusted in 48 hours or 60 hours or whatever criteria you have, which is fixed. Next thing is, हमको उसमें फिर एक क्राइटेरिया मिलता है कि अगर मेरा 48 आवर्स का करिकुलम है या 60 घंटे का करिकुलम है, उसमें मुझे प्रैक्टिकल के आवर्स कितने देने हैं. आजकल उसमें सीओज और पीओज भी ऐड हुए होंगे, लेकिन बेसिकली वी प्ले विद द आवर्स व्हिच आर देयर. all the people who have been into some sort of curriculum design, they know कि उसमें कुछ ना कुछ ये चीजें होती ही है कि हमको आवर्स में सिलेबस को बिठाना पड़ता है. And therein also, when to whichever field you belong, प्रैक्टिकल आवर्स डेफिनेटली हफ्ते में 2 घंटे या फिर हफ्ते में 4 घंटे इतने होते हैं. मतलब द technology which we are teaching to the students which they will be using in their life cycle, उनको theory के 10-20% में ही मिलता है. Even for that matter, when you have the crunch of lectures available, what we do, we convert practical lectures into theory, because what we expect out of the student is higher percentage in the theory paper. So at certain point of time, when the student passes out, he says, I am not able to do anything because I have learned this course. And then we face the issue of gross enrollment ratio. Since the students are not happy with whatever they have got, they say, this course is not useful, we'll switch to some other course. Then again, the same situation comes. They again say that this course is not useful, they switch to another course. So to address this, the major reform which is there with respect to the student interest also is holistic and multidisciplinary education, rather flexibility of subject. Now, when you think of the flexibility of subjects also, I'm as a faculty, I'm also very much worried as to how will I cater to this. But just I'll just ask you a question, and I think in the discussion only you will be able to find the answer as to how we will handle this flexibility of subject. Say, for example, you have a student who is studying in second year of your pharmacy college. He is somehow good in handling the camera of his mobile, and he has got an interest in Instagram influencing. Can you imagine a pharmacy guy or a medical student or a core engineering student who can work very well with Instagram? Yes, he can. Then, say for example, after completing engineering, have you seen people joining armed forces like military, navy, air force, etc.? Yes, we have. But at the time of his learning tenure only, we are only giving him inputs in the domain area in which he or she has enrolled. हमने उसको सिर्फ एक चीज का नॉलेज दिया हुआ है जिसमें उसने एडमिशन ली थी. Yes, multiple entry and exit would be definitely something which will be troubling the institutions, because student को ये पसंद नहीं आया तो वो वहां पे जाएगा, वो पसंद नहीं आया तो वहां पे जाएगा. कितना move होगा is a question which we have in mind. But if you think it positively, if they can have the credit transfer through academic bank of credits, they can definitely go for at least gaining the input, at least gaining the knowledge from a number of sources which are there. Even as far as my knowledge is concerned, AICT is definitely right now also they are forcing the students and institution to register themselves in the academic bank of credits. At least we are starting the pavement, the pioneer block for the NEP2020. HEIs, they would be expected to go for the extensive research and teaching your methodologies, and also for gaining the autonomous status. Even the government of India is also planning to go for model multidisciplinary education and research university in or every district, which will be named as Meru, definitely with respect to the NEP needs. This is something which is definitely coming our way, and ABC, that is Academic Bank of Credits, is definitely on the cards now. Rather, the institution will be provided with graded autonomy. Full autonomy or graded autonomy has only one difference, wherein with respect to the grades, you will be provided the autonomy on academic, administrative, and financial fronts. Rather, they are also trying to phase out the affiliation system. There would not be any sort of affiliating body. There would be some single regulator for higher education. Definitely, they are planning to exclude legal and medical colleges for now, but the single regulator we also might have heard this word or this sentence wherein they are definitely in line planning to merge UGC and AICTE. This has been a talk for years now that AICTE or UGC merge hone wala hai. We are definitely waiting for it. At least our data compilation for these two different agencies would be at one point of time. Online self-disclosure based transparent system for approvals. Instead of committees coming to your institution for inspection, you will yourself produce the data and you will be inspected on those. Even there would be common norms for public and private HEIs is definitely a very big thing which you can do. NRF, that is Natural Research Foundation, in the last budget only, 2019 rather budget, finance minister has already announced this, that they will be having the NRF funded and funded, coordinated and promoted for the ultimate cause of research, which is definitely in line. Even institutions of eminence, they are allowed to set up offshore campuses, and in the near future only, we'll be seeing number of international universities who will be having their campuses over here in our Indian context. And also, with respect to the news which we are getting on day-to-day basis, they are forced to maintain same level of quality even when they are going for the internationalization of education with respect to the Indian scenario. SEZ, which were generally considered to be special economic zone for industrialization, government is planning to set up special education zones also for the regions which are very much lagging in educational domain. So this is something which will be very much useful to us as higher education institution, and we can go for the various things which will be coming to us. Multilingualism, although it is a part of NEP, but it is definitely there. It is around us right now also, because till date we might have received n number of emails from AICTE also, wherein they are launching books on various languages, and they are promoting, they are asking the faculties to contribute in converting the textbooks into the mother tongue or regional language, because that is something which is definitely there. Even in the context of engineering, for diploma institutions, since last 3-4 years, they have given the option already to the students, wherein the students will be opting for multilingualism. And since this is, I am very much aware about the Maharashtra region, they are allowed to write answers in Marathi as well as English in whatever language they like. Either Marathi or English, they can write their own answers. The question paper for now would be in English, but if for the explanation part, they want to go with Marathi, they want to continue with Marathi, they can do it. That is something which is very good with respect to the student side when we think of it. Cultural awareness of Indian knowledge system and promoting Lok Vidya is something which would be a very good thing which will be coming to us in the NEP 2020. The last but not the least thing which is there in NEP is the use of technology. Government itself is promoting the use of technology in the basic work which we as faculties are very much habitual of doing, planning in the educational domain, teaching, learning and assessments, administration and management, regulation of the self-disclosure and minimum human interface in these kind of technology things is definitely possible and definitely coming our way through the use of technology. Even National Educational Technology Forum, that also will be set up as soon as possible to facilitate the use of technology in teaching. E-content in regional languages, that is definitely which we have talked earlier. And the aim of this would be definitely something which I have showcased in the last line, that is digitally equipping schools, teachers and students. Something which is very much required nowadays. And the outcomes which we are expecting out of the NEP would be my talk of the NEP, which is on the end with a kind of an comma in this session, wherein what we can expect as an outcome of NEP would be attaining the foundational learning and numeracy skills through national mission, because it is taken up very extensively by the government of India side, and we as institutions would be definitely jumping into these soon. We can expect the increase in gross enrollment ratio, which is a very prominent issue in affiliated institutions or self-funded institutions these days. Admissions ही नहीं है, input ही नहीं है, so how will we run our institution and how would we proceed towards the outcomes which are expected out of us is something which will be addressed in this. Preparing teachers through a number of training sessions, the teaching forums, the learning forums for the assessment reforms which are coming our way will be definitely an outcome which we are thinking. And the last one, that is, when you think of the outcome, the first and foremost outcome which is expected is every child will come out of the school adept in at least one skill which he or she would be learning in the curriculum, or rather out of the curriculum. Afterwards, in the session, we'll be moving ahead with the perks of ICT tools, which you can expect when you go for the ICT tools usage. You can get these kind of dashboards which have all the data at one point of time to showcase you like the total number of students are there, how many total employees are there, what are the programs and departments in your institution, department wise faculty, students, etc. That will be very easier to fetch to an ICT tool when it comes to the data pointers. The category wise, if you think of the student wise data which is generally expected, what is the student strength per year, category wise student strength, what was there, the state wise students, gender wise student. Once you add the student data in an ICT tool, it will give you these kind of inputs whichever you need, and number of reports also with respect to the query or with respect to the need which you have with respect to that data. If you have the teacher data with you, how many of them are teaching staff, how many of them are non-teaching staff, how many of them are having various designation like assistant, associate, or professor grade, the sanctions strength wise teachers, what was the sanction strength in your institution, how many of them were enrolled, etc. That will be there. And with respect to various parameters like enrollment, curriculum, academics, research, infrastructure, and governance. So whatever data you have added as an input, it will give you an outcome which is expected in a number of accreditations. So that is something which is definitely there in the accreditation agency, and you can make the use of it. Also, some data which is required in the accreditations like SAP and student-centric data of how many students have qualified into national and international examination, what was the trainings which you have conducted in your institution. All of these will be available at your fingertips if you use these kind of ICT tools. Even some grade analytics and the point of concern for institutions like CO and PO attainment, that will be there. So this is it from my side regarding the accreditation data management criteria. I thank you very much for the patient listening. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Over to you, Mushtaq sir.
Yes, thank you very much, Paras sir. Thank you for the session and enlightening us on the use of ICT in accreditation as well as in a new education policy. So the lots of criteria is there. There is lots of things which we can be not explain in a 1 or 1.5 hour. It's required almost a day. The accreditation itself will required a day, and NEP is required a day to explain all the functional and features what are available there and what exactly mean that. the like in accreditations data management system, or like any accreditations body like NAAC, NB, or any NIRF, the data their parameters like teaching, learning, evaluation, how many staff, student related, so 7 key criteria. So entire that required a day. But yes, Paras sir tried to highlight the main features, main things, which I supposed we delivered. And I would like to say thanks to the team of Ali-allana group, respected all the team members for giving us opportunity, and associated with such types of webinar will definitely will do in the futures. More webinars will deliver. And if the participants having any queries, so they can soon we will float feedback form. So Khushbu will float one feedback form now in the chat box as well as on the mail and WhatsApp. You can share your question and queries. जो भी question queries होगे, you can ask the experts in the through feedback form. If you would like to conduct such types of seminar, webinar with your college, association with your college, that is also quite possible. Just write it down the mail, and you can mention in the that feedback form as well, or you can mail me directly also at mushtaq@iitms.co.in, or you can WhatsApp me also, or the number is mentioned on the flyer. You can WhatsApp there also. So we will be more than happy to conduct such types of webinar. So thank you all once again. Dr. Ghulam Javed sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. In the SSR, how do we come to know that after keying in the data or uploading the data, what are the marks that we will be eligible for? Can you just share some light on that?
Yeah, actually, sir, although the time is limited today, I will not be able to speak comprehensive on the whole SSR part. But right now also, if you have the SSR ready with you, the NAAC has also, if yours is an affiliated institute or autonomous also, they have declared the benchmarks on the NAAC website right now. So you can very well have a comprehensive study of those things as to how much is expected from your institution in this regard. Or else what you can do is when we continue with this session again, I'll definitely connect with you, and I'll connect with you from the SSR side, wherein we'll be able to showcase you as to how much pointers you can get, because this is something which is definitely related to the quantitative data which you have. So if we go through that data, we'll also be able to help you in this case as a part of a consultancy also.
One exclusive session we can conduct, sir, for your IQAC team, those who are working on this. In that session, we will call the 10 the good colleges, IQAC coordinator and the principals as well. Those who are recently got a good grade in the accreditation point of view, like those who are good in that particular accreditation. So that also we will call, sir. So exclusive session for Ghulam Javed sir. We will conduct one exclusive session for your IQAC team. And if any, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. If any colleges, those who want to
anyone
conduct
from the engineering college, Jamia Engineering College, if you have some queries, please feel free to ask Dr. Kamaluddin, sir. Anyone from Unani College, if you have any queries?
or soon we will share the feedback link as well. अगर किसी को कोई questions है, queries है, वो उसमें भी add कर सकता है, उसमें भी पूछ सकता है. Apart from that, I'll share the Paras sir's number as well, also email ID. अगर कोई question queries है, directly you can contact with the Paras sir as well. Or you can write it down my number as well. It's 90211 48419. तो उस पे भी आपको कुछ क्वेश्चन क्वेरीज है, you can call directly and we'll try to solve that.
फीडबैक लिंक जो है वो ऑलरेडी चैट बॉक्स में शेयर्ड है, तो आपके
chat
अगर
box में shared है।
आप वहाँ पे डाल दीजिए. आई विल बी लुकिंग आफ्टर
म्यूट करो
क्वेश्चंस.
इधर बात करना.
Okay, sir. So, shall we conclude this?
Excuse me, I have one question.
Yeah, please ask.
म्यूट करो ना उधर. Yes, can we customize this software?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We need to understand the requirement, and definitely we'll customize. In terms of what exactly we require, that our team will evaluate. We're having a team at Jalgaon as well. Those who are taking care of the NMU region. So what exactly the requirement that we need to understand, and according to that, we'll do the needful. In terms of accreditations, yes, exactly. There are continuous enhancement in their policies, lots of criterias, and under the para criteria they changed. So that is a continuously enhancement process. वो तो हमको करना ही पड़ता है. But yes, in terms of
Apart from this accreditation, we have regular submission of university affiliation and
yes,
AICT mandatory disclosures. All these things we have to submit every year.
yes,
Right, sir. Right.
Yeah.
yes.
So for that we have to customize because their queries and questionnaire are different from accreditation agencies.
So what
Right,
I can do, sir, after Eid, I'll plan my personal visit to Akkalkuwa. I'll be more than happy to come
will
there,
be
and
good.
then
That will
definitely,
be good. That will be good. Okay.
yeah, we will discuss the exact requirement of your institutions, and yes, yes, there is lots of things which we need to be discussed regarding the engineering college requirement, Unani college requirement, schools requirement, and how that will be useful for the management as well as the faculty perspective. That we need to be understand. So after Eid, inshallah, I'll plan personally, sir. We'll have a Shirkurma with together.
Okay, surely. Can we have a total in Jamia level instead of having institute wise? Can we have
Yes, sir.
Jamia level because it has more than 10 institutions?
Sure, sure, sure. We can do.
That will be better.
We can plan out that the Jamia level, group level demonstration and group level discussions we can have. Whereas we can discuss individual IQSC, individual principles and team wise, what exactly the challenges they are currently facing and what they are expecting from the ICT tools. That we can do, sir. We can conduct the session.
Not only session for software also as
Yes,
a
sir.
whole. Can we
Sure.
purchase as a whole for the institute? Whole
Sure.
Jamia.
Jamia, yes, sir, for group level.
Yeah. Okay, commercials will be held by management. They will deal.
No, that definitely we'll discuss later, sir. First,
Okay.
we will understand the requirement as we are serving group of institutions like Shirpur Education Society. Somewhere around 11 colleges and 75 schools are using
Yes,
our
yes.
solution from past several years.
Exactly.
So their pharmacy, their engineering, now the two campuses are autonomous. Pharmacy is also autonomous, RC Piper and RC Patel is also autonomous. So they are using our solution from 2012. So we are having a group of institutions like Deccan Education Society in Pune. So there Ferguson College, somewhere around 10 to 15 colleges, 35 schools. So management related report, institutions level reports, what are the reports, accreditations required, or AICT, or Pharmacy Counseling of India, or University Welfare Office, Joint Director Office, various bodies are required, lots of report time to time. So that reports can be available on the single click. We try to accommodate the reports according to the requirement. So definitely we'll conduct a 1 day or 2 day session. I'll plan along with the Paras sir and those colleges who are nearly going for the accreditation or any types of NAAC MBA. So Paras sir will be happy to help for that point of view as well. So that will be a one-to-one session. Or if any colleges apart from the this group, Any colleges want to conduct the webinar, seminar, or on-site visit, just enter the details on the feedback, or they can directly contact. We will more than happy to conduct, sir. We are more than happy to help in points of NEP topics or accreditation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.